So, good morning, children. We are going to start our first chapter today of civics, that is understanding diversity. See, diversity means what? The diversity means the differentness or variety, we can say, or variousness in something. So, if you will look around you in classroom, you will see that no one is exactly like you do, and their work and even their handwriting and all the things are different. Some of them are fair and some of them are dark and some of them are of a normal color. Their face, their expression, we can say their complexion, we can say. So these all the differences enrich our lives. Agar, for example, if all the people would be looking same, that would be interesting. No, automatically you would have become bored, and therefore these differences in our life become or they enrich our lives, and many ways are also there that make them more fun. So we are actually going to understand all these differences or variety or differences or the diversities of our country. You know very well that our country is full of cultures, religions, languages, and different traditions. So these all the differences, these all the diversities we are going to understand in this chapter. So, for understanding this diversity, we are going to see the understand this chapter. So, as you know very well, see from here we are going to start. Three children around your age have drawn the figures above. Use the empty box to draw your human figure. Is your drawing similar to any of the other? The chances are that your drawing is quite different from the other three which you see are quite different from each other. This is because each one of us has a unique drawing style. We are not only don't look exactly like each other, but also differ in the terms of language we speak, our cultural backgrounds and religions, rituals we observe, and of course the way we draw. So here, these three pictures are shown. This can you see these three pictures? There is no any similarity in between these three pictures. Even the drawing style is also different. So, as our drawing style are also are different in the same way, our social background, our religions, our languages, the way we look, all the things are different. And these all the differences enriches our life. It makes our life interesting, because if all the people would be same, so life would have become completely boring, and therefore these differences uh, fulfills our life and fills our life with different colors. Okay, so these are all the things explained in this paragraph. Now, if you will see here, fill out the following information about yourself. When I go out, like wearing, means at home I speaking, my favorite sporting, I like reading books about. If you will fill this and if you will tally each and every person's uh, sheet which has been completed filling this, you will see the tremendous changes in that. For example, whatever the clothes you like to wear, you like to wear the t-shirt, and some would have like to wear the something different, a good quality of shirt. That language you are speaking in your home, some are talking in Marathi, some are talking in Hindi, some are talking in Gujarati, some are talking in different languages. So even the sport you like are also different. So these are all the differences we can easily find out in the society. Now, um, if you will fill this sheet, you will come to know the differences. Okay, now by now you must have recognized the many ways in which you are quite like some your classmates, and other ways in which you are different from them. So now we are going to start a chapter by making from the point of by making friends. In this point, we are going to see how the two boys of the same name are very much different from each other, and their small story we are going to understand here. Let's try to understand. Do you think it would be very easy or easy for you to make friends with someone who was very different from you? So read the following story and think about this. So this is the story of Samir 1 and Samir 2. Samir Ek and Samir Do. Let's try to understand this story of the Samir Ek and Samir Do. As you can see this picture over here, this is Samir Ek and Samir Do. Okay, let's try to understand now. I had meant it as a joke made up of a small ragged boy who sold newspapers at the Janpat crossing at a busy intersection. Every time I cycled by past, he would run after me holding out the English paper and screaming out the evening's headlines in a mixture of Hindi and English words. This time I stopped by the pavement and asked for Hindi paper. His mouth fell open. You mean you know Hindi? One of the boy who was selling the newspaper, he said, "You mean you know Hindi?" He asked. Of course, I said I paid for the paper. Then the another boy who was cycling, he said, "Yeah, of course I know Hindi," and then he paid for the newspaper. Why? What did you think? He paused. Means he paused and what did you think? But you look so English. The one of the boy who was selling the newspaper, he said to another boy that you are looking so English. Means you look. The Samir though was so fair, and in this way, he was looking so uh, means foreigner type of boy. So he said that you looking so English. He said, "You mean you can even read Hindi?" Of course I can. And he replied that yes, I can read Hindi also. This time a little impatiently. I can speak, read, and write Hindi. Hindi is one of the subjects I study in school. Then the boy who was selling the newspaper said, "Subjects? What is subject?" he asked. How could I explain what a subject was to someone who had never been to school? Then the another boy who was purchasing the newspaper, how can he explain that boy to the to the boy who had never been to school, who never know the meaning of the subject? So in this way, he replied, "Well, it is something I began, but the light changed. As the light changed onto the as he was standing onto the pavement, and the next to him there was one we can say the signal was there, so signal started to change, and as the signal changed he had to move from there because there was so much of rush over the road and he couldn't answer his question. So in this way he moved from there, and after that the next day he was also came again, smiling at me. That boy was smiling at me and holding out a Hindi paper, and he said, "भैया एंड आपका अखबार, अब बताइए ये सब्जेक्ट क्या हो चीज होता है." Then he the English word sounded that subject that word sounded strange on his tongue. He sounded like it's other meaning in English, to be ruled by someone else. In that way he said that word. And then he replied, "Oh, just it's just something to study." I said that another boy who was purchasing the newspaper, he said that it is something that is we used to study in the school. And then because the red light had come on, I asked him, "Have you ever been to school?" So as red light started, he stopped himself and he said, "Have you ever been to school?" And that boy who was selling the newspaper said, "No, I never been to school." And he answered like that. And he added proudly, "I began walking when I was so high." Means he said, and he measured himself against my cycle seat. First, my mother used to come with me, but I can do it at all alone. Means he said that when he was so high and he measured his height with the cycle. That news selling boy measured his measured his height with the cycle. Said, "From that age I am working, and initially my mother was coming with me to sell the newspaper, but now I am working alone." Then where is your mother now? That another boy who was cycling and purchasing the newspaper said, "When is your mother now? Where is your mother now?" He asked him. Then again the light changed and I was off. I heard him yell from somewhere behind me, "She is in Meerut!" With family and all that. The rest was drawn out. As he was moving along, moving away from him, he couldn't hear the whole all the words. So in this way, my next day again they came back to same place, and then he said, one of the boys said that my name is Samir. He said the next day that paper selling boy said. Uh, uh, Told him that what is his name, that he said that his name is Samir, and very shyly he also asked what's yours, and so it was incredible. My bicycle wobbled. My name is Samir too. I said what? His eyes lit up. Yes, I grinned at him. It's another name for Hanuman's father. So now you are Samir Ek and I am Samir Do. So they decided that they will call each other as Samir Ek and Samir Do. And in this way, he said, triumphantly, he said that I am Samir Ek and you are Samir. You are Samir Ek and I am Samir Do. In this way, they explained each other. That means the newspaper boy was Samir Do, and the paper purchasing boy was Samir A. In that way, they started to call each other. And I answered. Uh, then I held out my hand, हाथ मिलाओ समीर दो, and his hand nestled in mine like a little bird. I could still feel its warmth as I cycled away. As I hold his hand in my hand, his hand came in my hand like a little bird, and it was so small hand, and it was so young boy that his hand was completely came in his hand, and he said that I could still that Samir A said that I could still feel its warmth as I cycled away. As the signal again started for going from there, so that boy had to leave and he cycled away from. But the warmth of his hand, he could feel still in his hand. And then next day, when he again went to the same place, he did not have his usual smile for me. That day, he was not having the usual smile for that boy, that Samir A. Then he asked, the boy asked what happened. Then Samir Do replied, there is trouble in Merit. He said, many people are being killed. There is a riot. I looked at the headlines. Communal riots. It blazed, but Samir, I began. I am a Muslim, Samir, he said. And in answer, and all my people in Merit. His eyes filled with tears, and when I touched his shoulder, he would not look up. So he replied to Samir A that why he was sad, because there was a riots in his Meerut, and his family is also there, and many of the people were being killed. So due to this reason, he is worried and he is very much sad, and therefore he is in sadness, or he is in sorrow that my family would also be in trouble. He was not at crossing the next day when the Samir 8 went to the same place again where that boy, news selling boy, used to sell the newspaper. Now next day that boy was not there, and neither the day after nor even again. And no newspaper in English or Hindi can tell me where my Samir Do has gone. So in this way, that boy was not there from the next day, and where that boy has gone, nobody was knowing. And in this way, that he says that boy, the Samir A, said, "Where my Samir Do has gone, I don't know," and I feel he remembers his friendship throughout his life. So actually, why we have studied this, uh, all the explanation of the Famir Ek and Samir Do, to understand the diversity among the people. So now in the next period, we are going to understand the diversities of the different people with the help of Samir Ek and Samir Do. how the people are different from each other. That we are going to see. Thank you very much.